It's hard for families to put down roots for affordable housing. An effort in Golden Valley is hoping to ease that burden. I met up with city staff volunteering at the Habitat for Humanity this week, who got to see their ideas come to life.
With all the noise, nails, and power tools, building a house is a daunting task.
You in a good spot, Tim?
Especially when you don't do it every day.
They stuck me down in the basement to do with some blocking and framing.
For these city volunteers,
So today I am on painting duty.
it's all in a day's work. And it's all for Golden Valley's HOPE, or the Home Ownership Program for Equity.
To be part of this work undoing that legal segregation that has existed for so long is really, really great.
This house is possible because of a partnership with HOPE and the Habitat for Humanity. Project Supervisor Tony Beckstrom helps builds run smoothly.
80% of our projects in the inner cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul.
This partnership is the first of its kind in Golden Valley.
It's exciting to see us be able to help folks in a larger scale.
It's like riding a bike, huh?
Behind the scenes, Mayor Shep Harris says this project took years to come together.
Whatever it takes, because we really want to do the best we can to make this community welcoming for everybody.
This week was a chance for city volunteers to perfect their project.
This is the fun part, where you actually see, what you've talked about in concept, and now it's going into reality.
All the noise is an act of creating something new with an impact that lasts.
It's fun to be a part of that because it's going to last and go on and on and on long after we're gone. So that's very gratifying.
This house on Douglas Drive North should be ready for move-in by next spring. If you'd like to learn more or get involved, we'll share a link on ccxmedia.org. The housing market is still lukewarm, largely because of some of the highest mortgage rates in decades. However, one local suburb saw some of the largest sale gains. Sales dropped 17% last month across the Twin Cities. Locally, Golden Valley was one of the biggest risers in closed sales, up 40% over the year prior. Vice versa, New Hope and Robbinsdale saw among the largest decreases in sales. The median sales price for homes in the Twin Cities is $370,000. That's up 2%. The decline in sales is the result of sellers reluctant to sell and high mortgage rates. The traditional 30-year fixed mortgage rate reached its highest level since the year 2000. Coming soon to Maple Grove, a taste of Louisiana. Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen has now been approved for a site in the Dunkirk Square shopping development. That's by Sam's Club and Becker Furniture World. A 2,500 square foot restaurant and a dual drive-through capable of stacking 20 vehicles will go in on a vacant lot there. While approved, the proposal did raise traffic concerns. Popeyes isn't the only fast food chicken restaurant in the Maple Grove pipeline. California-based Dave's Hot Chicken is proposed near Malone's Bar and Grill, but that plan is on hold to allow for a traffic study. Voters in the Wayzata School District will decide the fate of a technology levy this November. Kevin Miller has more on tech in the classroom.
Maybe we need to measure something.
Students at Northwoods Elementary in Plymouth spend a lot of time working on their iPads.
After it's designed,
Teacher Lisa Carlson says the devices play a big role in her students' education.
we would not be teaching the way we teach without them. The students use them multiple times a day. They submit assignments, they have quizzes on them.
According to Carlson, technology like iPads and smart boards are an integral part of teaching.
I've been teaching since '91, and I can't believe the technology that we have now. It just is seamless, and it actually is, just bringing these kids into the real world, 21st century.
Wade Phillips is director of technology at Wayzata Schools. He says classrooms don't look like they did 10 years ago.
In times where I went to school and maybe some of the parents and guardians out there, they had paper, they had pencils, they had notebooks, they had physical textbooks. A lot of that has moved to more of a digital world.
But all that technology isn't cheap. The state of Minnesota doesn't allocate funding for technology to schools. School districts have to ask voters for levies to replace old tech. Wayzata's existing tech levy is expiring, and the district is asking voters to renew it at the ballot box. If it's approved, it will generate nearly $6 million a year for the next 10 years. Renewing the levy won't raise taxes. And while tech levy funding is most visible in the devices at students' fingertips, the levy also pays for security costs.
Door access control, security cameras, firewalls, like endpoint protection, antivirus, anti-malware, and things like that.
If the voters approve the levy, the district hopes to secure not only buildings and devices, but also students' futures.
This is real world. This is what people do in the workplace.
And that's where the cool part is, because we're really trying to prepare our kids not for just what's going on today, but what is the future.
In Plymouth, Kevin Miller, CCX News.
Plans for the renovation and expansion of the Maple Grove Community Center are now in the design phase. The City Council will review Phase 1 of the project this week. That phase includes the addition of a third sheet of ice and improvements to the existing arena. It also includes the new architectural look of the updated building. Last year, voters approved a sales tax to fund about 80% of the $110 million project. A combination of state funding, grants, and Booster Club fundraising will pay for the rest. An inaugural event held in Maple Grove over the weekend helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for a good cause. On Saturday, Elm Creek Park hosted Minnesota's first ever Ride to End Alzheimer's. Nearly 300 cyclists made their way to Maple Grove, hopped on their bikes, and rode through the beautiful fall foliage. Organizers say the event helped raise more than $260,000, and 100% of the proceeds will help support cutting-edge research in the fight to end Alzheimer's and dementia.
The Wayzata and Armstrong boys soccer teams played in the last week of the regular season, with undefeated Wayzata winning 1-0. As Jay Wilcox reports, their rematch in the Section 6-3A semifinals was not nearly as close.
Armstrong hoping to upset top seed Wayzata in the Section 6-3A boys soccer semifinals. Charlie Pillar with the corner kick, and Gunnar Hendrickson heads it in as Wayzata goes up 1-0 just over 23 minutes in. They lead 2-0 at halftime. And the Trojans put it away early. The long free kick gets past the defender, and Lassie Koivukangas volleys it in just over a minute into the second half to make it 3-0. Just after a short corner kick, Pillar keeps the pass low on the ground, and Evan Mahan redirects it in for a 4-0 Trojans lead. Jackson Widman adds one on a header as Wayzata scores its second straight blowout win of the postseason, blasting Armstrong 6-0. They host Minneapolis Washburn in the section final. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Wayzata and Washburn meet at 5 o'clock Tuesday for the section title at Wayzata. The Trojans scored a 5-1 win over the Millers in September. The Wayzata girls soccer team had just one loss in the regular season. The Trojans were pushed to the limit in their Section 6-3A semifinal contest. Here's Jay Wilcox.
Top seed Wayzata hosting Minneapolis Southwest in the Section 6-3A girls soccer semifinals. And the Trojans strike early. Southwest turns it over, and Davey Melke rips a perfect shot into the top corner as Wayzata grabs a 1-0 lead about 4.5 minutes into a dominant first half. But the score stays that way as Southwest hangs around, and late in the second half off a free kick there's a scramble in front. One shot's blocked, but Keith Payton buries the second try as the Lakers tie it 1-1 and the game goes to overtime. Wayzata comes oh so close to ending in the second OT. Grace Espy hits the crossbar. The ball caroms out and the Trojans quickly get another opportunity, but the second one's off the goalpost and the game heads to a shootout. And Wayzata goes 4 for 4. Tenley Sendon ends it here as Wayzata wins the shootout 4-2 to survive a scare, beating Southwest 2-1. They host Rogers in the section final Tuesday. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
In the other girls soccer Section 6-3A semifinal game, it was a battle of the Royals between Hopkins and Rogers. Hopkins beat Armstrong Cooper in their playoff opener, while Rogers beat St. Louis Park. Ches Moots has the highlights.
Hopkins trying to make it to a section final game for a third straight season if they could take care of Rogers. First half, Lucy Johnson gets called for a push in the back in the box. That gave Rogers a chance at a penalty kick. They call in Ashlyn O'Malley's number, and O'Malley goes bottom left corner for the score. Rogers takes a 1-0 lead at the break. After halftime, Hopkins looking to get going offensively. Maya Burgess with a shot. Emma Blanchard coughs it up for a moment, but falls back on it. Rogers holding on to a 1-0 lead. Just a minute left in regulation. Now corner kick for Hopkins. Ball gets cleared out. Bryn Etzel gathers, then dishes it to Savannah Gisak, the senior, with one last boot in the net. Again, Blanchard loses it momentarily, but is able to quickly recover. Rogers holds on to pull off the upset, 1-0 over Hopkins. They'll face Wayzata in the section final on Tuesday. Hopkins ends its season with a 12-5-1 record. Chas Moots, CCX Sports.
Rogers and Wayzata play at 7 o'clock Tuesday at Wayzata to decide the Section 6 champion. Also in Class 3A, the Maple Grove girls play top seed Spring Lake Park Tuesday in the Section 5 final. The Maple Grove boys host Champlin Park in the Section 5 boys final in a match you can watch live on CCX. That's all for sports. I'm John Jacobson.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.